Welcome back, viewers. Just a while ago, we were discussing how the BJP and the JDS and the BRS in Telangana is all upping the ante, mounting the pressure on the Congress party over the income tax rates. But it certainly isn't going great for the Congress in Karnataka. Amid politics, like I mentioned, over the income tax rates, the last thing that the Congress would want really is internal dissent. But it looks like, a fresh banner of revolt is slowly being brewed. Now, why do I say this? 20 MLAs led by Satish Jarkiholi have decided to showcase their collective influence to the party high command by planning a demonstration is what we learned. What's more interesting is that the demonstration will be held outside Karnataka. Their key demands include Jarkiholi's appointment to the Deputy Chief Minister's position and a plea for non-interference really in Belagavi district affairs. Now, this internal strife is a part of a broader pattern, really, and as dissent within the Congress has repeatedly come to the fore, recent instances have seen MLAs really expressing discontent with the state leadership as well due to the perceived financial neglect. Now, moreover, here a persistent issue within the party revolves around reservations for specific communities. Further, they underscore, of course, the internal challenges, of course, faced by the Congress as well. Now, in an exclusive conversation with Times Network, Satish Jarkiholi clarified the intentions of the faction aligning with him, emphasizing that their objective is not to express any sort of dissatisfaction, he says, with the government or even to destabilize it. Instead, he says, they are seeking a rightful and fitting position within the party for him while underlining their patience and willingness to wait for a resolution, really. Let's listen in first to this conversation.
There is news that you were upset with the current government and 20 of your supporters you were planning to go.
नहीं अपसेट तो नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है, पूरा हमारा है, 136 लोग हमारा है, ऐसा नहीं है। बहुत दिन से सोच रहे थे मैसूर दसरा देखने के लिए, मगर टाइम सेट नहीं हुआ है, तो इसके लिए पोस्टपोन हो गया है। अगले देखेंगे, सीएम के साथ बात करेंगे, अध्यक्ष जी है, अगर जाना हो तो उनका परमिशन लेके जाएंगे।
सर, लेकिन कहा जा रहा है कि आप जो 20 एमएलए आपके जो सपोर्टर्स हैं, आप अपसेट हैं कि आपको जो आपने पहले डिप्टी सीएम का भी डिमांड है कि आप डिप्टी सीएम बने, वो उसको नहीं बना गया, इस वजह से आप नाराज हैं?
नहीं, अपसेट तो नहीं है, इतना बड़ा तो पोर्टफोलियो है, ये बहुत बड़ा है, चाहे 10 के अंदर ये पोर्टफोलियो आता है, इतना बड़ा तो हमको सरकार ने, हमारा पार्टी ने दिया है, अपसेट होने का तो चांस ही नहीं है। हमारा एक ग्रुप है, हम कभी हम मिलते जुलते हैं, वही लोग जाने का प्लान कर रहे हैं। अभी जब जाएंगे तो आपको बताएंगे, सबको बता के जाएंगे।
Well, let's open this up. Dr. Narendra Rangappa from the BJP is with us. Sathya Prakashe once again joining us live. And importantly, now we also have Mr. Vijay Grover, senior journalist. Let's take this across to Mr. Sathya Prakashe. Sathya Prakashe, interesting. On one hand, you have the BJP, the BRS, the JDS, all of them coming at you with the income tax rates. But now problems within the party, it seems like, how are you going to resolve these sort of issues so that they don't really simmer and surface? Because internally asking for any sort of positions, portfolios is different. But when it really comes out onto the streets, that's when it's considered as rebellion or, issues for the Congress to deal with.
Deepak, whereas Mr. Jarkiholi said that, he is rebelling, he clearly said all 136 MLAs are with him. It is not.
He's not, but there is, of course, a demand that's being put forth. And it's just been about 4 to 5 months since, the portfolios were allocated. He is a minister himself. So when you have his supporters who are going out there and saying we want to meet the high command, there seems to be some sort of an issue there. You cannot deny that.
He never said. He never said, his supporters wanted to meet the high command. His supporters wanted to go to Mysore, which is within Karnataka. Normally what happens is, whenever Dasara celebrations are there, the ruling party MLAs go there on the invitation of the MLAs, our MLAs in Mysore. Because there are so many occasions like Yuva Dasara, there are so many, exhibition grounds. There are so many, tape cuttings happen. So normally what happens is all the legislatures from the ruling party go there to be part of the Mysore Dasara celebrations for 9 days, which happens. And where is there, the A team and B team, the BJP and JDS, ये जो मुंगेरी लाल के हसीन सपने देख रहे हैं लोग, 136 plus 2. Forget that, another 8 or 9 MLAs from BJP are knocking our doors. Another 10 MLAs from JDS are knocking our doors. The JDS state president himself has said today, CM Ibrahim, has said that, that I am thinking, We are thinking of JDS, not supporting BJP. And if Kumaraswamy has any guts, let him, put me out of the party. My JDS is the real JDS, and we are going to support the secular Congress. He has gone on record today. The A team and B team, they have nothing, they are keeping on, dreaming. People have given them the mandate to be a responsible opposition. They have not given mandate to them to engineer defections within the Congress. And ye jo pehle chalta tha, now it will not happen. Because Congress has 138.
Okay,
members
Dr.
within its
Rangappa,
ranks.
respond to that. Dr. Rangappa, I want you to respond to that. Also tell me what you make of, Satish Jarkiholi supporters move at the moment.
Who has to respond? Deepak, who has to respond?
Please go ahead.
I'm not able, not audible.
Dr. Rangappa, okay, we seem to have lost him there. I'll bring in Mr. Grover. Mr. Grover, how do you really look at this? Because it's hardly been a few months when you have some of the leaders express themselves in such a manner. Do you look at it as any sort of dissidence, or do you think all is well?
Deepak, when I read the lines, I'm glad that, MLAs from North Karnataka are going to Mysore to see the Dasara. Something which is, a big disconnect in the past, and we've seen it as to how it was more of, South and Central celebrations than Mysore Dasara. But if 20 MLAs from North Karnataka are going, certainly this is what I read the lines. But when I read between the lines, as Imran was speaking to Satish Jarkiholi, it is a clear statement or a message that is going to the Congress High Command, Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar, that the demand for a deputy CM from the Lingayat community is something that the Congress will have to act on. As Dr. Sathya Prakashe said, this is the problem, the state of denial for eternity. This is something that the Congress has been denying, that there's no such pressure. But we've seen what has happened in the past, and where there have been demands for deputy CMs from other caste and community. I think so there is not a better way that Satish Jarkiholi could have put it across, and saying that, he's got the strength, and, these are his supporters who want him to be the deputy CM. So when will the Congress acknowledge that it was the Lingayat vote bank which shifted partially from the BJP to the Congress, which gave it such a massive lead after Jagdish Shettar came? That is something which certainly needs to be acknowledged, credited, and before 2024, I'm sure the Lingayat community will look at a deputy CM from the Lingayat community so that they can, stay with the Congress, that, having shifted from the BJP to the Congress, its leaders have been given their due credit. That's the clear message which we are seeing.
Well, Mr. Grover, whether a deputy chief minister's position will even make the Lingayats happy is a question, because they do have a Mahasabha meeting that's coming up. You have the leader of the Mahasabha, Mr. Shamnur Shivshankarappa, who very recently said, what is a deputy chief minister's position? If they want any position, it's going to be the chief minister's position. So, while of course Mr. Sathya Prakashe tried to say that there is no issues whatsoever, Mr. Prakash, you had to deal very recently with the statements that came in from your own MLA about prominence for Lingayats. Now you have Satish Jarkiholi, who's building pressure slowly from the other corner, and you also had memorandums after memorandums from the Muslim community as well. So while you do have a massive number, but to placate all of these factions is something that is important, because you have the Lok Sabha elections as well coming to the it is something that is on the horizon. So it's not very far away. So all of these factions coming together is only going to help the Congress party.
Absolutely, Deepak. See, Mr. Shivshankara's son, who is a minister in Karnataka's cabinet, himself has said, there's nothing like that. Positions are not given based on caste. Okay, but when we had a look, if really the Lingayats have been given a raw deal, there is adequate proof to show that a lot of DCs are there, a lot of coveted positions have gone to them, and our ministers have gone to Mr. Shivshankarappa, and they have showed the proof for how Lingayat officers are getting the positions as per their population or something like that. So there is nothing to worry. See, Congress is a democratic party. Every MLA can air his views. We will go to them and give them adequate proof. That is why CLP meetings are happening on a monthly basis. And last week you saw, division-wise, all the MLAs were called, and our CM himself chaired the meeting. to understand the problems of the legislatures. We are a party where, dissent is okay. If they have some problems with the government, they will air it. Our ministers will go and solve those problems. What is so wrong about it? But the problem is telling that there is something wrong. Oh, some MLAs are going out of the state. Where is Mysore is within the state? How is it out of the state? Mr. Satish Jarkiholi is with the Congress party for how long? And he is not a mercurial guy. He is a very soft guy. He knows what he is speaking. He has said it very clearly. Okay. For the sake of his district, if he has some problems, he will talk with the chief minister. There is a AICC's General Secretary in charge who is there, Mr. Ranjit
Well,
Singh Surjewala.
I think time and again the top leadership of the Congress has said that if you have issues, come, let's speak about it in a closed room. Why speak about it out in the open? And if your own ministers are right now not obeying that simple rule,
in which
no, you are saying that if he has a
Jarkiholi
problem
said?
about Belgavi, he has the right to speak out. So why is it not happening in a closed door with the chief minister, the deputy chief minister?
He can come in a cabinet meeting is there. He can always put his problems in the Belgaum district with the chief minister. He is a Belgaum district in charge minister. He himself is a district in charge minister. He is handling PWD, which is a very important portfolio for the state. He is a working president of the Congress party. So what else?
Okay,
He has
Mr.
every
Grover
right,
wants to come in. Let me bring in Mr. Grover as well.
Deepak, see, this is what I was talking of. In refusing to accept a problem is something which is a big challenge over here. The fact that, when Congress party talks of inclusive politics, and we've seen it, they speak the same language in the past, where is the hesitation to include the communities and castes which are now demanding deputy chief ministership? And it's not something which is not something very unique that is going to happen. The only problem here that seems is maybe there are senior leaders who refuse to acknowledge and accept people like Jarkiholi or Hari Prasad, who have contributed so much for the party for such a long time and are demanding a representation in the government. Obviously, every politician who comes to active legislative politics wants a designation, a post, something that he's been working for. And, to say that, everybody is right and they can discuss in closed room, this is something which, people do not accept anything. And if, this is the kind of stance that the Congress is going to have, not just for the Lingayat community, but other OBC communities, I think that, there could be arithmetic equations which could go wrong with these communities and which could, the advantage that the Congress had.
Precisely, and the real concern why I brought up the Lok Sabha election was the Congress had one of its worst defeats last time. Now, though they are, of course, as a part of the government here in Karnataka, they'll hope to do much better. But these sort of internal issues, if it's not resolved and if it's kept at the superficial level, it's going to trouble the Congress party, Mr. Prakash.
Nothing will happen. See, we have...
And how many are you going to placate? And how many are you going to placate?
I'll tell you, in that umbrella, we have the OBC, we have the Dalits, and we have the minorities, within the Ahinda movement. And he is the champion of the Ahinda classes. In the Deputy Chief Minister, we have Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, who is evolving as a, topmost Vakiliga leader in Karnataka after Mr. Devegowda. With Devegowda dwindling, the rise of D.K. Shivkumar as the topmost Vakiliga leader, he is gaining traction in the old Mysore belt. Come 20th, you will come to know how many MLAs, ex-MLAs who have contested with JDS and BJP are joining Congress on a regular basis. As you know, Jagdish Shettar himself has brought two candidates, Mr. Lamani and, MP Kumaraswamy from Mudigere into the Congress party. There are a lot of MLAs also who are knocking our doors, but we are going one at a time. You don't worry.
Mr. Prakash, you mean to say that, you'll replace dissent?
Okay, nothing to worry, says Mr. Prakash. Mr. Grover, with all his experience, says this is one of the reasons that the Congress doesn't learn while all of these issues are happening, how to handle them, and that causes trouble later. I'll have to wrap on that note. But while, of course, we are talking about a little bit of a stress for the Congress party, I am bringing some good news as well for some of the Congress leaders. Mr. Prakash, I have to move on, but this is some more good news for the Congress PCC president here in Karnataka. There's relief for Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar. So Supreme Court here has declined to lift the temporary stay on the CBI inquiry, in fact, into the disproportionate assets case involving D.K. Shivkumar. The top court has issued a notice to Shiv Kumar in response to a petition filed by the CBI contesting the Karnataka High Court's order from 12th of June. Now, this stay has effectively halted any further progress in investigation by the central agency. The Additional Solicitor General mentioned that approximately 90% of the CBI's investigation has already been completed, but due to the interim stay ordered by the High Court, they are unable to proceed any further. The Supreme Court has also asked for Shiv Kumar's response by the 7th of November.
See, the question of asking for an intervention, investigation, so that the truth will come out, this process will go on, acceptance, rejectance will go on in the system. But anyhow, the intention to make them accountable is very important. Probably in this process, the consistent effort has been, the persuasion, the pursuance has been happening.
ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಅನುಭವಿಸಿರೋನು ನಾನು ಹಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಭಾಳ ತಪ್ಪಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೈಮ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಹೂರ್ತ ನಾನು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಓಡೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಓಡೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಹಂಗೆ ಇವ್ರು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ನಾನು ಎದುರಿ ಓಡೋದವರು ಇವ್ರ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ನಕಲಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗಳು, ಈ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮೇಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗಳು ಇವಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಕುಮಾರಸ್ವಾಮಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ.
ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಲ್ರಿ, ಮಾಜಿ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನಕಲಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನಕಲಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗೂ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಏನಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ರನ್ ಅವೇ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಕವರ್ಡ್. ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿರೋ ನಾನು.